Sbgbtv. It's a live call-in show. State your name. Where you calling in from?
Betty Diggs calling from Sacramento, California. Hello, Daisy.
Hey, what's going on, Miss Betty? How you doing?
Oh, I'm fired up now.
Fired up. I bet.
I am really fired up. I have really tried to stay in my lane. Moms have to stay in their lanes. I don't want to be out there like, oh, she taking up for Jay Diggs. Jay Diggs can take up for herself. But you know what? I have to put Wack in his place. He has said this over and over again about my son giving my grandson some kind of lean. First of all, my grandson did not die from lean. I want that cleared up. I have the toxicology reports. He had absolutely nothing in his system, okay? Nothing. My grandson died from a grandma seizure. He was having seizures. Now, I have heard that lean might have can cause seizures in people and stuff like that, but that was never the case, okay? People started saying that. So anyway, I made sure that I got the toxicology report. And my son Jamal was way in another state when my son Jamal, that's what I call him, Jamal. My husband called him Jay Diggs. Well, he was way in another state when my grandson died. He had nothing to do, nor would he do anything like that. Jamal was a single parent to this child. He came straight out of prison. When he came out of prison in 1992, imagine this. A woman knocked on his door and said, excuse me, okay, well, when he came out 10 years later, 2002, he came out. A woman knocked on the door and gave him a 9-year-old son. That is the son that he raised up by himself as a single father. Took him on the road with him everywhere. And he died when he was 18 years old. And I'm going to tell you something. Every time Wack says that kind of stuff, it just tears my family apart. Number one, we know it's not true. But how could he even say anything like that? And personally, I think that Jamal needs to go out and sue him. That's what he needs to do for defamation. So I just have to speak on that. All this stuff with that girl, you said it right, DZ. You were absolutely right. She's jealous of the other girl, and if you go through it, it's my grandmother, JD's my pimp boyfriend, all this crazy stuff. That's fufafi, as you said. In fact, that's my new word.
Right.
Okay, there's nothing in there, but I do see where Wack is literally trying to just line him up as if he had something to do with Mac Dre. Mac Dre was J Diggs' best friend. As a matter of fact, when Mac Dre was murdered, and I hate to say it that way, but when he lost his life, Jamal and Mac Dre lived together. They had an apartment in Sacramento. They lived together. That's how close of friends they were. Okay, Jamal could not go to out to Kansas City because he was on parole, and everybody else went, but he couldn't go. But when he found out that his best friend was killed, he didn't even care. He got on the next plane and he was out in Kansas City for a whole week, maybe a week and a half. And I was calling him, begging him to come home, afraid of anything that might possibly happen. Jamal was crazy about his best friend, Mac Dre. And for 20 years, he carried his emblem on, the what you call the medallion is Mac Dre's face. Now, nobody's going to do something to somebody and then carry their face on their chest for the next 20 years. Come on now. And this thing about Mac Dre's face and Jamal's face, You know what that was? That was an album cover. He did an album cover where all the songs that he and Mac Dre did together. He put his face on one side, Mac Dre's face on the other side, and he did the album cover with that.
Mm.
But I could just go on, but I'm not gonna. I want to thank you very much. I've been listening to you every night. I call you my soap opera, okay?
I
my
appreciate
husband, my husband has to tell me sometime to turn it down, and basically, I started listening to you because, like I said, I'm J Diggs' mom, so I have to stay in my lane. But all this stuff this man was saying just hurt so bad. It hurt my family because we know how that it wasn't true. Not only that, we know how close Jamal is to all of his kids. I'm going to tell you something. When his kids have a birthday, he call them up, where you want to go. If that one uh, Tacoma wants to go to Disneyland, Jamal flying him to Disneyland, okay? He takes care of all his kids. That's what one thing I can say. Okay, he have a lot of kids. He have a lot of baby mamas, you know. I can't get into all that. But the important thing to me is you take care of those kids, and he does take care of those kids.
Did you ever meet this woman here that's talking like this?
Let me tell you, let me tell you about her. I have never met her to my face, okay? But all this stuff that she's saying, I got a Facebook post from her, and it was all about this grandmother and how uh, the lady in Washington was talking about her grandmother, how terrible she was. And she just gave me pages and pages. And so I just simply wrote back to the young lady and I said, I'm really sorry about your grandmother. And it's very hurtful that anyone would do something like that. And I left it at that. And I just said, I'm going to pray for you. And I hope that, this stops. But I wasn't going to get in the middle of that. But this is one of the few ones that I haven't met. I have never met her personally, only on Facebook. And all this stuff that she's saying, is so many lies in there. But I can go on, but I'm not going to go on trying to defend Jamal. His life speaks for itself. Anybody, the man been in the music business for 22 years, okay? Obviously, he must be making some kind of money, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He has a house in Las Vegas or one in Hawaii. Obviously, he's doing something right. He has his barbershop. He's written his book. He has his, what do you call it? Well, he's actually the Catfish Corner. He's moving that to Las Vegas. But he has, he's moving from Hawaii to Las Vegas, the Catfish Corner. So obviously he's doing something. You see what I'm saying? Not only that, he's working on a movie on his life right now. And as far as her talking about he doesn't get along with Mac Dre's mother, yes, he does. In fact, they're doing a documentary together now. Mm. Okay? So, and the documentary is going to come out, and then you'll see it. So, a lot of this stuff is all going to be, washed out when it all comes to light. This girl is just trying to come up with big crazy stuff, and you can see Wack trying to lead her on with Mac Dre's death. Come on. And my grandson, like I said, every time he says that, I can just cry. I miss my baby so much, but there was nothing in his system, nothing.
And Wack doesn't care at all about that it affects your family. He just cares that he's trying to assassinate the man's character.
Absolutely. And then he said for the insurance money, there was no insurance. There was absolutely no insurance. And mainly there was no insurance because, Jamal was a single dad. It was just kids. He had his kids, but nobody thought to put insurance on an 18-year-old at that time.
Right.
Okay. And you know what? We're a close family. And anybody who know the Diggs, me and my husband have been married 56 years. We are very close to Jamal. I worked with him with his record label and Mac Dre and all of them. Anybody that know me, they'll even tell you I had a street name. I worked with so many rappers. My street name was Big Money.
Okay, right, Miss Betty.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you can go on and it's validated, aka Betty Diggs, big money. Because I worked with those kids, okay, and I work with my son, and my son, he's a good person, okay, and that's enough. My husband said that's enough.
Okay, and I appreciate you calling in, and congratulations to you and your husband for being together for that long, because that is definitely rare.
Okay, thank you
All
so
right.
much. And
You have
I'm going to keep listening to you. And you know what? My prayers go out to Marciano. And we going to stay on top of that too. Okay?
most definitely. I appreciate you calling in.
Okay, bye bye.
Yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, man, hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that like button and share this video, man. Miss Betty called in. Appreciate you calling in, Miss Betty. And I'm sure, Miss Betty gets tired of hearing Wack, trying to destroy her son's character because he doesn't want to have a fade with the man. Jay Diggs only wants to have a fade. That's it. But Wack wants to stoop so low to lie on this man because he wants him locked up because he know he can't handle a fade with the man. Straight up. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you in the building, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share this live. I appreciate all of y'all.